Truck EDC. It's been a long time since we've done a truck EDC video, specifically on my truck, and I have upgraded trucks. This is my 2018 Ford Raptor that I bought used about a year ago, and I've done literally nothing to it. Nothing is systematized. There's no extra gear or anything. This thing is just how I bought it basically, and I threw my stuff into it with no rhyme or reason. So what this video is talking about my truck EDC and where it's at. It's unfiltered, it's not so pretty, and it's the real world truck EDC that I'm running. But what we want to do over the next several videos is document like what I'm doing to my truck, why I'm choosing certain things to add to it, and showing you guys what is possible for organizing a truck or adding storage or systematizing your truck. So with that said, this is my unfiltered truck EDC, and let's do the damn thing. All right, so first up, inside the door, I only have a few things. I got a little spray here, just in case I'm smelling kind of bad. We've got just a little fob that turns off the alarm system at the office, and then we have these. This is something I learned from a good friend of ours, Zach in the wild. We were road tripping with him, and he kept wearing these sleeves. I'm like, what is that for? And he's like, oh, I hang my arm out the window, and I get sunburned really bad. And I was like, oh. Well, I get sunburn, but I also get a sun rash because I'm actually allergic to the sun. So I now keep sun sleeves inside my truck door, and I actually use them way more than I care to admit. The only other two things that I have in the door here is a truck knife. This is the UG Tools Tiny. I think it is a perfect truck knife. And then the Phoenix PD 36R, which I accidentally bought as an EDC flashlight in one of our videos. I believe it was REI. It has become my truck flashlight. Those stay right there. These can come off and they go right there. These are gaiters and they don't really fit inside the sunglasses holder, but I have 4 pairs of sunglasses in here because I always lose them or forget them. So these are the Umbras that I actually bought for a video a long time ago. Those stay in here. They're my favorite truck sunglasses, but I do have a couple of pair of gaiters up here. It's actually not a great idea to leave them up front like this because they get so overwhelmingly hot to the touch because they're aluminum, but I don't have another place to put them right now. So I used to hang my sunglasses here when I wore magnetic sunglasses, but this doesn't really work anymore. All right, as for this, like I said, unfiltered, I really don't know what's in here, so let's go through it together. Inside here, I do know that I keep an OBD2 reader. This is a blue driver, just in case I have any dash lights come on, or Ricky has dash lights come on, or Jordan has dash lights come on. It comes in handy pretty often. And the only other thing I really have in here other than a spare charging cord is this AutoCast, and this allows me to get wireless CarPlay on the truck. So rather than having to plug my phone in, when I turn the truck on, the phone automatically connects to that, and it puts CarPlay on my stereo. And then, you know, snacks for the kids. One thing you will notice in my truck EDC is there's things for young kids. That's not gonna change, so got to deal with that. And then inside here, I can pull this out for you, Ricky. We have a couple of packs of mints. Obviously, we have this, which I guess is a great opportunity to talk about one of our sponsors, Worksharp. They sponsor the channel. They make awesome knife sharpeners. They now have a knife out called the RMX. Go check them out, but this is your reminder to use your shit and sharpen your knives. We also want to thank Big Idea Design. They make amazing pocket tools and pens, and now they have a knife, several knives, but their newest knife is the Overlook. Ricky just did a video on it. Go check it out. It's a great pocket knife, one of the best things I think they have ever made as a company. We also want to thank Whatnot for being a channel sponsor. They are a live streaming auction platform. So we go live over on Whatnot pretty often, and we sell off knives and all sorts of other things. We give away stuff as well, like buyer appreciation giveaways. We've given away several $1,000s worth of knives at this point, but also they have plenty of other things to check out, like cards and vintage clothing. Go check it out. There's a link down below as well as a QR code here on the screen. If you click that link or use the QR code, you'll get $15 off your first purchase. And finally, we want to thank Nitto Tire. So one of the only things I've actually done to this truck is replace the tires because it needed it really, really bad. And Nitto reached out and told me to pick a tire, and I chose the Terra Grappler G3, and I could not be happier. This truck drives like a brand new truck. It's unreal how well it drives now. But the reason I went with the Terra Grappler G3 is not just because it's an all-weather tire. It's snow rated, which we don't deal with a lot of snow here in North Carolina, but I spend a lot of time driving North Carolina to Georgia and Tennessee, Texas. I spend a lot of time on the highway, and as much as I would like a big knobby mud tire just for aesthetics, this seemed like the most well-balanced tire, and I could not be happier with it. It is so quiet and so smooth. Go check out Nitto for your tires. There's a link in the description down below. So back to the tray. I keep little hydration packs in here all the time. I drink an Element basically every single day. I don't really like liquid IV, but I have them. I just like keeping one in here just in case I have my water and I feel like I need a little bit of a hydration pack. I get leg cramps really bad, so I do keep those on hand. I also have some allergy medicine. But the main thing that I keep in here is this worksharp guided field sharpener and mints, and a little bit of cologne and spare keys for different things like the hitch receiver or the bed cover. But that's what stays in this little tray. Down in here, I genuinely don't know what we've got. We have a spare protein shake.
Ooh, nice and hot.
Nice and hot, you know, keep it nice and warm for you. Does everybody keep sunflower seeds in their center console?
I mean, hey, if you get stranded.
I like to eat sunflower seeds when I'm driving because it's just like something to do with your mouth that keeps you awake. If I'm starting to get a little drowsy, I'll just pop a sunflower seed, and just one is enough to kind of keep me awake. I don't know. That's why I keep them in there. This doesn't stay in here, but this is my knife roll. It's just in there because I got back from the beach the other day. That's another knife that I probably bought off Whatnot. Speaking of Whatnot, it's just down in the center console. A couple dollar bills. Nope, just $1 bill. Just a single dollar. I told you, raw, unfiltered. This is what we got, and then dude wipes. And then we've got hand sanitizer and a Sharpie that probably fell out of this tray, if I'm honest. Like I said, not much. I did run with a first aid kit in here, but I imagine I probably took it out and put it in another vehicle. All right, so first things first, I've talked about this before. This is a trash bag from Blue Ridge Overland Gear. As a parent, kids driving around all the time, it's really nice to have a place for them to just put their trash. So this hangs over the back of the seat. When I'm by myself, I typically flip it around to the front. But having a small little trash bag is super, super handy. Like I said, there's gonna be parent stuff or kid stuff in here, wipes and diapers. It's just the reality of it. Underneath this seat, you guys have seen this before in our truck gift guide. So this is a Tough Possum trunk duffel, and inside here, I think there's only two things, if I'm correct. This is that Huckberry camp blanket, but it's really meant for like a ground cover if you're having like a picnic or something. So from Flint and Tinder. So that stays in there, and then we have very long jumper cables. Oh, and a water filter. Never know when you're gonna need some water right out of the river. But that stays under this seat, and it doesn't fit super well, so it's always bothered me a little bit, but I do like having a little blanket that I can throw down if we stop somewhere, have a picnic, go out with the family or something like that. It's just nice to have a little throw blanket like this. But that just stays underneath this seat. And then underneath this seat, we've got the most of the gear, the brunt of the gear. First up is dimmer box. I do keep one of these in my truck. It's the only one I have, but I do keep it in the truck because whether I'm working on something around the house, like I like to know where it is, keep it in the same place. I use this for cable storage. So when my kids are in here, we have chargers for iPads and spare cables for charging whatever that they can plug in, you know, right here or here. I keep a rain jacket under the seat. This is left over from the winter, but hand warmers. These are mostly for Ricky. I legitimately bought these just for Ricky. More wipes, because you can never have too many wipes. And then we have my tool bag here, as well as just some tie-down straps. The tool bag, we can spend a little more time on. This is another piece of gear from Tough Possum. This is just a slim tool pouch from them. And inside I've got just kind of the essentials, like a large flathead, adjustable wrench. I've got a full Knipex set in here of different various Knipex pliers, needle nose, pliers wrench, different things like that. Yeah, vice grips, socket set. We could do a video on truck toolkits at some point, but for the most part, I just have the bare essentials in here, a little grab bag that I can lift up the seat, grab and go. And it stays right here. And that closes just fine. And next we have yet another Tough Possum trunk duffel. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that this is probably a disheveled mess in here. Basically, this is remnants of the Father's Day gift guide. I threw it all in this duffel and threw it back in the truck. So this came out of different places and I put all this stuff together for that video, and this is my backpacking first aid kit. So it's a very bare bones first aid kit. It wouldn't do me any good if there was a first aid situation because I didn't even know it was in there. So not very efficient. We also have all of the Klein toolkits. Yeah, we bought all those for different gift guides, and they've just ended up in this duffel. I've got other Knipex pliers and Irwin pliers, just leftover tools that didn't make it into my actual toolkit. Here is the screwdriver that I was looking for from that toolkit. So I guess the short of it is I really need to organize all this stuff because I don't know where a lot of my stuff is, and it drives me crazy. This is another Tough Possum piece of gear. What does he call this? I can't remember what he calls this, but this is it's like a bag. It's got multiple purposes. I'll have to put it on the screen. I don't remember what he calls it, but you can use this as like a sleeping bag liner. You can use this to fill full of debris and leaves and stay warm. There's a bunch of different uses for it, but yeah, I don't know why it's in here. Probably the same reason this backpacking thing is in here. If I were to guess, this is from when I went to Suffering with Salyer and I just shoved stuff out of my bag into another bag. That's probably why all this is my catch-all. So don't expect organization from this bag, but do expect organization in the next video. And then finally, the very last thing in this truck that we're gonna talk about in this video is another piece of Tough Possum gear, and it's this multi-purpose sit pad. I know I included this in a gift guide of one of mine. I have several of these, and there's one that stays inside this truck. You can use it to sit on, you can use it to put stuff in and gather. You can use it as a fire starter. You can use it to stoke your fire. There's a lot of uses for this thing, and it's just super handy, but I mainly keep one in my truck because if I'm working on something, I like to have something to put my knee on instead of straight on the concrete. It's super handy, super comfy, and it stays right there. And that's it for this truck. I do want to go out back really quickly and show you one last thing though. All right, so finally, the last thing we're going to talk about is actually what we're going to talk about in the next video is this bed cover, why I chose the Diamondback HD. So after researching all the different options for bed covers like Retrax and even one that I've had in the past, Paragon, which I actually liked that one, I ultimately went with Diamondback. I bought this Diamondback HD because when you look at all the accessories and things available, this seems like the best possible solution. Not the cheapest, but one of the best options that you can put on your truck if you want organization, storage, and a bunch of different accessories to maximize the bed of your truck. And plus, it's got a 1,600-pound payload on top, which is pretty crazy. So we'll talk more about the Diamondback in the next video, as well as some of the other things that I've added to the truck or will be adding to the truck. So with that said, this is my truck EDC. It's not fancy, it's not glamorous, it's thrown together, but by the end of this series, this truck will be an efficiency machine that will just drive me back and forth from my house to my office. But it will, in theory, be very, very accessible, efficient, and very cool. I'm really excited to show you what's going on under that Diamondback, but that's for the next video. I'll see you guys then, and until then, carry on.